The inaugural day of the new year, coinciding with the beginning of the new century, a momentous ceremony unfolded in King's Landing, the union of two influential Westeros houses. Joffrey Baratheon of House Baratheon and House Lannister joined in matrimony with Lady Margaery Tyrell of House Tyrell of Reach. Though the wedding was a grand spectacle, it's essential to delve into the preceding events that led to this significant day. Renly Baratheon, the youngest sibling of the late King Robert, sought power after the death of his brother. Fleeing to Highgarden, Renly secured support from House Tyrell by marrying Margaery, daughter of Lord Mace Tyrell. With the combined strength of the Reach and the Stormlands, Renly declared himself Lord of the Seven Kingdoms. Meanwhile, Stannis Baratheon, the eldest surviving brother of King Robert, gathered strength on Dragonstone, proclaiming himself the rightful heir due to the illegitimacy of Robert's offspring. Stannis, guided by the Red Priestess Melisandre, predicted Renly's demise and his army's allegiance to Stannis. Stannis sailed to Stormlands and marched to Storm's End. Upon receiving news of the situation at Bitterbridge, Renly decides to divide his forces, leading approximately 20,000 cavalry in an attempt to lift the siege. Following an unsuccessful negotiation where neither brother concedes, the two sides prepare for battle at dawn. Tragically, Renly meets his demise that night, assassinated by a shadow conjured by the Red Priestess Melisandre. With Renly gone, the majority of his followers pledge loyalty to Stannis, while a portion, including Sir Loras Tyrell, returns to Bitterbridge. Peter Baelish, acting on behalf of King Joffrey, rides to Bitterbridge and subsequently Highgarden, successfully securing the allegiance of House Tyrell. Following the Battle of the Blackwater, the alliance between the Lannisters and Tyrells is solidified through the engagement of King Joffrey to Margaery Tyrell, who was previously married to King Renly Baratheon. To make way for this new betrothal, Joffrey ends his association with Sansa Stark, who is subsequently married to Tyrion Lannister. Unhappy in King's Landing, Sansa plans to escape, aided by her ally Dontos Hollard. Dontos gives Sansa a silver hairnet adorned with black amethysts from Ashai, assuring her that she can flee captivity during the upcoming wedding ceremony. Upon her arrival in King's Landing, Olenna Tyrell, the grandmother of Margaery Tyrell, engages Sansa in conversation, probing for information about Joffrey. Her objective is to ascertain the veracity of the tales surrounding the young king's cruelty. On the morning of the royal wedding, House Lannister, the male members of House Tyrell, and other noble guests gather for breakfast in the Queen's ballroom within the Red Keep. Meanwhile, the Tyrell women, including Margaery, have a separate meal. Joffrey is presented with wedding gifts, including a gift from his mother, Cersei Lannister. Tyrion contributes a book titled Life of Four Kings, and his grandfather, Lord Tywin Lannister, bestows upon him a Valyrian steel sword. Joffrey names the sword Widow's Wail and proceeds to use it to destroy the book he received from Tyrion. The wedding ceremony between Joffrey and Margaery takes place at noon in the Great Sept of Baelor, before statues of the father and the mother. The officiation is conducted by the High Septon. Following the ceremony, the royal procession moves from the Great Sept to the Red Keep. The evening wedding feast unfolds in the throne room of the Red Keep, featuring a planned 77 dishes. Drunk from an excess of wine, Tyrion Lannister sits at the far end of the table with Sir Garland Tyrell and his wife. The event is filled with entertainment, including singers, dancers, and jousters. Joffrey, also inebriated, repeatedly attempts to provoke his uncle Tyrion, who is a dwarf. A pair of dwarf jousters on a dog and a sow enter the throne room, mocking the Starks and Joffrey's Baratheon uncles, Renly and Stannis. Joffrey urges Tyrion to join, but upon refusal, the king humiliates his uncle by emptying a large royal chalice of wine over him and compelling him to be his cupbearer. As another singer is scheduled to perform, a grand ceremonial pie is served by 6 cooks. Sir Elyn Payne, using his new greatsword, cuts the pie, releasing doves. After consuming wine from the wedding chalice and partaking in the pie, Joffrey starts to cough violently. Knights, including Garland Tyrell, Meryn Trant, and Osmond Kettleblack, rush to help the choking Joffrey as the court and guests scatter. In his dying moments, Joffrey points at Tyrion, who empties the remaining wine in the chalice onto the floor. After Joffrey's death is confirmed, Margaery is comforted by her mother, who claims the boy choked to death. However, Queen Cersei insists that her son was poisoned and orders the Kingsguard ordered to arrest Tyrion and Sansa, though Sansa has already fled from the feast. Ser Dontos Hollard assists Sansa Stark in escaping the Red Keep, guiding her to Blackwater Bay, where Oswell Kettleblack awaits with a boat. Upon reaching a waiting ship, however, Lord Pater Baelish betrays Dontos and has him killed. Peter and Sansa set sail on the Merling King to the Fingers. Upon reaching Peter's tower, Sansa discovers that her silver hairnet secretly held poison within its amethysts. Unbeknownst to her, Olenna Tyrell extracted the poison while adjusting Sansa's hair during the celebration. Sansa deduces that the poison was then added to Joffrey's wine. Peter reveals that he orchestrated Joffrey's demise to pave the way for Margaery Tyrell to marry Joffrey's younger brother, Tommen Baratheon. Sansa's husband, Tyrion Lannister, is falsely accused in the aftermath of Joffrey's death. While in custody, he believes that Sansa, along with other conspirators, might have poisoned Joffrey. At the beginning of his trial, Tyrion contends that Joffrey accidentally choked on the pie. Despite his assertion, Maesters confirm Joffrey was poisoned, and Grand Maester Pycelle claims that Tyrion used the strangler to kill the king. Lady Taena Merryweather testifies that she witnessed Tyrion dropping something into Joffrey's wedding chalice, and numerous lords and knights recall seeing Tyrion empty the chalice of wine as the king perished. Despite Tyrion's decision to demand trial by combat, he is deemed guilty after Ser Gregor Clegane defeats Oberyn Martell in the trial by combat. Common folk spread different tales about Joffrey's demise, ranging from rumors that Tyrion maliciously slit the boy's throat with a dagger and drank his blood from a chalice, to fantastical stories alleging that Sansa used a magical spell to kill Joffrey and then transformed into a wolf with bat wings to escape the Red Keep. Apart from his mother Cersei Lannister, Joffrey's death is not met with much mourning, as even his biological father Jaime believes that Joffrey got what he deserved. Tyrion expresses the opinion that Joffrey would have grown into a ruler worse than the Mad King, Aerys Targaryen. Considering the threat of poison, Jaime, who serves as the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, instructs Sir Boros Blount to sample all the food intended for King Tommen Baratheon. Fans have coined the term Purple Wedding to refer to the marriage between Joffrey Baratheon and Margaery Tyrell. The poison, known as the Strangler, is concealed in the deep purple amethysts adorning Sansa Stark's silver hairnet, and the wine consumed by the king is initially described as dark red, later transitioning to purple. As Joffrey succumbs to the poison, his face changes from red to an even darker hue. Purple, a color often associated with royalty, adds a symbolic layer to the event. It's worth noting that unlike the Red Wedding, the term Purple Wedding is not used in the books.